In this lesson, we will discuss fixed and variable expenses associated with cloud computing. There are two main categories of expenses, fixed and variable expenses, and it's important to understand the difference between them. Fixed expenses are costs that remain constant over a given period of time, regardless of the level of usage or production. In cloud computing, fixed expenses may include costs associated with underlying infrastructure such as hardware and software, as well as costs associated with the initial step and configuration of the cloud environment. For example, some software as a service solutions require an upfront setup fee before you can begin to use their service on a month-to-month basis. At Dion Training, our payroll provider was configured with this type of fixed expense. We had to pay a large upfront fee for them to set up all of our employees in their platform and begin issuing paychecks on our behalf. Variable expenses, on the other hand, are costs that change based on usage or production levels. In cloud computing, variable expenses may include costs associated with the actual usage of the cloud environment, such as data transfer fees, compute time, and storage. For example, at Dion Training, we use cloud-based services to host our websites, and we are charged on a pay-as-you-go model based on the bandwidth that we utilize every single month. So if I only have one student watching this course in a given month, it would only cost us less than $1 to stream these videos to you. But if we have 1 million students, our cloud computing bill for the month may reach thousands or tens of thousands of dollars due to the increased bandwidth being consumed by our end users, which are our students. When utilizing a cloud service provider, an organization should expect to incur both fixed and variable expenses. A company might choose to use a cloud-based storage solution to store its data. That cost of purchasing the storage solution would be a fixed expense, while the cost of using the storage solution would be a variable expense based on the amount of data stored, frequency of access, and the amount of bandwidth consumed. As you evaluate a cloud service, you might want to make sure that you think about your return on investment and your total cost of ownership when designing your cloud-based architecture. When evaluating the return on investment of a cloud computing project, it's important to consider both fixed and variable costs. Again, this is because the ROI is calculated by subtracting the total cost of the project from the total benefits and then dividing the result by the total cost of the project. Fixed costs will have a greater impact on the ROI of a project in the short term, while variable costs will have a greater impact on the long term. Total cost ownership, or TCO, is another important consideration when evaluating cloud computing projects. The total cost of ownership takes into account both fixed and variable costs, as well as any ongoing costs associated with maintaining and supporting the project. This can provide a more comprehensive view of the overall cost of a project and can help organizations make more informed investment decisions. When calculating the total cost of ownership, it is important to consider your ongoing support and labor costs as well. The great thing about cloud computing is that most expenses are variable expenses, so it's treated more like a utility. You may even hear this listed as a key benefit of cloud computing, and it's referred to as utility computing. This model allows businesses to pay for resources on a pay-as-you-go basis, which can provide more flexibility and scalability. Additionally, businesses can take advantage of the process transformation and business transformation that cloud computing offers. Process transformation allows businesses to streamline and automate business processes, while business transformations allow for businesses to create new revenue streams and business models. So remember, fixed and variable expenses are two distinct types of costs that businesses incur in cloud computing. Fixed expenses are constant costs associated with the underlying infrastructure and setup, while variable costs are costs that change based on usage and production levels. It is important to understand the difference between fixed and variable costs in cloud computing to make informed decisions about investments and expenditures. A clear understanding of these expenses can help organizations determine the most cost-effective solution for their needs and to optimize their usage of cloud computing resources. Additionally, companies can use this information to forecast expenses and develop budgeting strategies that take into account both fixed and variable costs.